But the Never Trump movement inside the Republican Party, honestly, not borne out here today.
Bang up job. I mean, this Never Trump whole complex that grew over the last several years, nothing has ever failed as hard in politics as this. The Lincoln Project, all these people that built millions upon millions upon millions of dollars from Democratic donors, and all the eggs that was put in this basket. The split was amazing. Trump got like 94% of Republicans. I don't think they accomplished anything except probably build a bunch of beach houses. That's about what they did. Republicans being lectured to, condescended to, browbeaten by all these folks over the last... I mean, look, at some juncture, it's okay if we have different opinions about the election. You don't have to beat people to death over it, and the more you do that, the more it drives people away. Total failure.
And that's before you even get to January 6th. You cannot pretend in the Donald Trump era that's not an important thing to say.
I was happy to say these things before we knew the outcome of the election. I will just point out in our own exit polling on the issue of democracy, 73% of the people said they thought democracy was threatened, and they split evenly between the two campaigns, 49 to 49. And so, you know...
Well, that's probably because Donald Trump spent a lot of time telling a lot of people not to trust our democracy, no?
Yeah. Which goes to, you know, I hear you and Republicans making the argument that Trump won on this kind of like fundamentally unifying message. I would sincerely hope that he uses this moment to remind people, reassure people that our elections are free and fair in this country. He wields an enormous amount of power. He has a loyal following.
That Donald Trump, I think, because he's very good at this, he tapped into it with men. In the I hear you, I see you. I think some of it is, you know, part of the aftermath of the Me Too movement, where there were a lot of men who felt like there just wasn't a place for them, like they maybe weren't Harvey Weinstein, but they felt like, so what is appropriate? And I think they did feel kind of left out. So I think there are two levels of this, right? I think Donald Trump is going to continue to be very divisive. I think Liz Cheney...
That's mass deportation.
January 6th to a pope, rightfully so. But
you know, it wasn't just men who voted for the former president. Ron went over all of the exit results.
Women.
He did incredibly well with a lot of women, a lot of people of color. And people say, oh, you know, he ran on this dark, bleak message. Well, you know what? For a lot of people, the country is dark and bleak. We're in New York. I went to Target yesterday with my wife. And every darn thing, lotion, everything you could think of, locked up behind doors. And someone has to come and unlock the key for you to grab a darn thing of deodorant. And that's normal in America. And so when people say, well, crime is not a problem, these things are locked up because theft. So crime is a problem. So Donald Trump's case about the issues in this country are very accurate for a whole lot of regular people out there. That's why he got the support he received.
Yeah. So, Scott, let me ask you a question, because we started this conversation with Liz Cheney talking. Does Donald Trump care about like what Republicans are going to want to try to keep that in power going forward, considering that this is going to be his last administration? Is he going to be thinking about that as he governs the country?
I mean, I think he's only going to care about what the people who just elected him asked him to do. This is a mandate. I mean, the economic program, the immigration program, the foreign policy program, I mean, everything he laid out, you know, nobody's forgotten what Donald Trump did as president. And certainly everybody heard loud and clear what he was running on in this election. And he won a resounding victory. So my, you know, rudimentary and humble political advice would be just do what you said you were going to do, and you're going to have a very successful term, because that's what the people asked for.
we got what we deserve.